this is a different style of webinar, so it's gonna be a bit more advanced. As to I will be showing you these features directly. I might run you quickly through the other process like account creations and account structure and stuff like that. So in this webinar, we will mostly focus on different methods of uploading the invoices onto EzzyBills and spend money transaction using mobile phone app, as well as how to upload it through email, then importing, how to import the bank feeds into your Xero, and then reconciliations of the transactions in Xero. The most widely used method of uploading bills to EzzyBills is, of course, your upload email address. So now for this webinar, I will be using my Brisbane Electrical account, which is my test account. I'll also be using the same one in my Xero. So the first thing is, of course, to ensure that you're connected to the right account, which you can see in your settings. So now, if you have multiple EzzyBills account and you want to ensure that each EzzyBills account is connected to the correct organization in Xero, you can simply go to settings, and then you see in your settings, you can see which organization it's showing. This is automatically shown based on which organization your EzzyBills account is connected to in your connecting software. Now, this is same for all the accounting softwares. If it's Xero, if it's MYOB, or if it's QuickBooks, the organization name will be the name taken from your accounting system. Right, so yeah, so this connection is correct. For now, I'm just gonna simply drag and drop my supplier bill here. So this is going to be a Bunnings invoice. I'll just drag it and drop it. All right. So you can also use email. It's quite same. For uploading the spend money transaction, I'll show you how to do it using email. So we're gonna give this invoice a moment till it's processing. All right. So meanwhile, this invoice is being processed. I will run you through the settings that we need for spend money transaction and how can we process that using email as well as the EzzyBills mobile app. So to set up your spend money transaction settings, now it's ideal case where a business has its bank account or credit cards in Xero. It's set up in Xero, or even in QuickBooks, or even in MYOB. And then you have employees who are working on field, and then they're using those cards for making transactions. And then you want those transactions, because it's already paid and they have a receipt for it. You don't want those transactions to go to your Xero bills first, and then you will have to approve them, and then you will have to manually match them. That's quite long, that's quite tedious task. Using spend money transaction, what you can do is once they click the pic after the settings have been configured, and once he clicks a picture of the receipt, it's gonna come straight and it's gonna sit into the desired credit card or the desired account he's using, and then it's gonna be much more easier to do the reconciliation for you for that bank account. So we'll just see what are the settings that are required for this. So firstly, you go to settings. Then you will go into approvals and expenses. And then if you scroll down, you will be seeing here a list of users and approval. Now, the one that I'm already using is Tony. So he's one of my employees. He works on field and he's generating receipts. And I have given him a bank card, which is 5407. So as you can see in my Xero, I have this bank card, which is the last 4 digits of that bank card in my Xero are 5407. So it's quite essential to have the same number and the business bank account number. Now, if let's assume I have one more card, which is a Commonwealth bank card, and the last 4 digits of that card would be, let's say 1234, and I want to configure a spend money transaction setting in EzzyBills. So for that Commonwealth bank card, which ends with 1234, what I will do, I will click on add approval. Let's say that card is with one of my employee, which is Matt. So I'm gonna put his name here, Matt. And then I will put the last 4 digits of the card here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And as soon as I put these 3 things, which are the essential, the key things, I will click on Save Changes. Now, observe what happens. So what has happened now? EzzyBills has generated a new email address, which is unique for these settings that we have just configured. So you can see it's, if I'm to show you, if I go on the dashboard, you will see the default email address, which just says brisbaneelectrical@ezzybills1.com. And if you see, you will notice the difference that this one is brisbaneelectrical.matt@ezzybills1.com. So this is specific for Matt. Now we have configured this setting, and you can also amend the approval. Like if I want this Matt person, anything that he uploads, any expense that he is spending, I want to put an approval process. Like I want all those receipts to come to me before it goes to my accounting software. I can just put my email address in approval. So if you put any email address here, whatever Matt uploads will be sent to that person for approval. Once that person approves that expense, then only it will go to the connected accounting software. Now, if Matt is a senior employee or he's a business owner and it's a small business and he doesn't want to have that approval thing, he just wants to have, as soon as he uploads, it should go straight to Xero and it should go straight to that bank account and sit there as a transaction, spend money. That is also possible. In that case, you will just need to tick bypass approval and click on Save Changes. So now if we have these format of setting, what's going to happen, anything that Matt will upload will skip approval because it says bypass approval, and it will go straight as a spend money transaction on business card, business bank account 1, 2, 3, 4. These is how you configure settings for spend money transactions. It will go on email for approval. So I will show you how that will look. So for example, this person, it's gonna look like this. So onto your email, you will receive an approval email from EzzyBills, which will say EzzyBills email approval. Now, once you click on it, you're gonna see all the details. So you're gonna see the PDF file that was uploaded, all the key details that have there, and then you can approve from here. You can also, at the same time, you can also click on all my approvals. If you're getting too many of these emails and you don't want to go into each of the emails, then it's even easier. You can go to any of the emails, old or new, and then just find the all my approvals button. Once you click on all my approvals, it's gonna open a new screen, which will be much more comprehensive. And instead of approving one by one, you will be able to see all the invoices here. Yeah, so this is how it looks, all my approval screen. All the invoices will be on left. Now, in my case, all of them have already been approved. That's why you see them approved. If there were some waiting for my approval, it would show on the top. I can select them, have a look at the original PDF file that was uploaded in the center, have a look at all these details captured on the right. You can also assign account code, you can assign tracking, add additional notes, add another file if you want. And if that person has added any notes, or if the previous approver has added notes, you will be able to see it here. And then you just click on the top, you will see approve button. You can click on approve, then it goes to Xero. So this is standard screen for all your email approvals. So if you have email approvals set up, you have email put in your EzzyBills settings. This is how it will look. So EzzyBills is gonna send you one email for one invoice. Although there will be a lot of emails, you can just add a filter and put them in one box. It's not gonna make any difference. So you don't have to go through each and every email for approval. As I said, you can go to either of the emails and find all my approvals button. Once you click on it on that screen, you will see all the pending emails that you want to work on or that you want to approve. Once you're done with it, like you can see the notes, you can change account codes, you can change all these, you can modify all these details if you want. You can also click on show table, which will show you this invoice table in case if you want to add a line item, or if you want to delete a line item, if you want to add line item wise, or let's say all right, so this one has multiple line items. Now, if you are in a business where you want to assign these all the line items, each line item to a different account code or GL code or cost center, it is possible now. You can simply click on show table. It will show you all the line items extracted, and you can just put your account codes here for each line item. You can put a different account code, same account code, doesn't matter. And even if you want to use the tracking, different tracking for all the line items, you can have that one as well. Once you put in, you just hide the table and you click on approve. When it goes to 0, it will have the account codes and the tracking that you have assigned during approval. Okay, so we saw the settings that we just did for spend money transaction. Now we will see how we can upload. Now there are essentially two different methods, as Lisa you were saying. If you have the employee that's on the road, then all he needs to do is he needs to have an EzzyBills phone app, and he needs to be connected with the account. And then once he's connected and once he has these settings configured, which is supremely easy, it's about 10 seconds work. Yeah, I'll show you that. So first, we will talk about email, how to upload the spend money transactions. If the guys are sending you photos on emails, or if you're getting it on emails, and then I'll come to how to use mobile phone app as well. So for example, now I have a receipt for Tony, which he was, for some reason, he couldn't upload, and then he has sent it to me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna copy this email address because I want to upload that receipt that Tony has sent me as a spend money transaction. And then I'm just gonna go to my email, and then I'm gonna attach the receipt. Yeah, that's the receipt. And once I've attached the receipt, I have the correct email here, which is .Tony. So that's spend money transaction for Tony, and then I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it via email, and within a few moments, we will be able to see that the spend money transaction which I just uploaded will pop up on the dashboard within a few moments. Meanwhile, if you want to set it up on your phone, like if you want to set this thing up on your employee's phone, it's quite simple. What you can do, whichever account you want to connect it to, you can just go to that account, settings, account settings, and you can click on email me the mobiles how EzzyBills mobiles how to. Now what's going to happen, a PDF file will be emailed to you with detailed instructions of how to connect your EzzyBills phone app with your EzzyBills account. We'll just show you that. How does it look? Yeah, so this is how that PDF will look like. So it will have the step-by-step detailed instructions. So you can download so he needs to download EzzyBills phone app on his phone. Our app is both on Android and iOS as well. And then once he's downloaded, in his app, he needs to click on login with QR code, and then he can scan this QR code. So when you get the PDF file, it has the QR code, which allows n number of, like, multiple number of EzzyBills phone app connected to your EzzyBills account. So now this, if you can see, EzzyBills Android app instructions for K.au. Now that's my account. If you click on the slang, it will show you for your account name, and then you can just pass it to that employee. You can pass this PDF one to that employee, or you can just take a screenshot of the QR code and then pass it to your employee if he's not coming to the office. And once he scans it, his account is connected. Now, as soon as it's connected, and if he uploads anything, that will be default uploads, which will have an effect as if he's uploading supplier invoices, because it's default upload. The additional settings that he needs to do is quite simpler. What he needs to do is he just needs to click on settings. So he needs to click on EzzyBills phone settings, this sign on the top right. And then once he goes into settings, he will see this page, username, that's the account you're connected to, which will be your account, EzzyBills account name, and alias name. And there will be a field that's empty here, alias name. What you need to do whatever you have put here as a name. So for example, here it's Matt. And if you're configuring this for Matt, he needs to write this exactly as it is in list of users. So once he writes in under alias name, he writes MATT Matt, and he clicks back, that's it. So the correct settings would look like this. So when he does that, so when he types his name in under alias name Matt, and then he clicks on back, he will see EzzyBills account name in the front, and then in the bracket, he will be able to see his own name, Matt. And once that's done, this setting is complete. After that, if he clicks pictures on the go, it will be processed as a spend money transaction format. So it's quite straightforward. So let's move ahead. So now we have seen how to configure spend money transaction, how to upload a spend money transaction using mobile phone, and email upload of spend money transaction. Now we will go and we will see how it's actually got uploaded. So this is the supplier invoice that we uploaded in the first place. And then this, I believe, is the spend money transaction. Yep. So as you can see here, so when for Tony, we have this email address which I sent my his receipt onto. I emailed it, and then for Tony, approver email is this email, and the bypass approval is not ticked. So it's gonna go for approval, and it's gonna wait for approval on this email address. As you can see in the dashboard, it says waiting for email approval by that email address. So if you bypass it, it will go straight. If you don't bypass it, it's just gonna wait. So now I'll just go ahead and approve that. I don't need to go into single email. I can go to any of the emails, click on all my approval, and then I will see it on the top. So these all are my approved invoices, and this one is just uploaded by Tony. So I can see the total is right, 6590. I'm gonna straight ahead and approve it. Yep, the job is done. Let's close this window. I have just approved this one, which was a spend money transaction for Tony. In a moment, I will show you where it goes into the Xero. But meanwhile, we will go and we will approve the supplier invoice as well. So again, you have two methods. You can either use dashboard. If dashboard only shows you the recent 10 documents. So if you want to use dashboard, it's gonna be single, and if you want to see more older documents, you have to click on next, but that's not convenient if you are doing too many documents. More convenient option is search approve. You can click search approve. You have all the filters here already, and you can just click on waiting approval. Now there is just one invoice, so I'm gonna approve it from here. I could also have gone ahead with all my approval option. It's the same thing. It's just not. I will go with that because that's my personal favorite screen, sorry. Yeah, so we have this invoice here, all the line items, 9173, and the totals are extracted correct. I'm just gonna approve it. It's approved. So let's just wait for some time. And in that, EzzyBills is going to export this into my Xero. That will take about a couple minutes. Okay, so we will proceed with the dashboard. So this is how my Xero dashboard looks now. On the dashboard, we have electrical services current account. Now this is my bank account, which I'm going to use to make payments to my suppliers. And then I have a credit card configured, which I have given to Tony. And then I'm going to use this as a spend, like to reconcile spend money transaction of the Tony. So now, all right, so we can see that it has been exported. So I'll show you when EzzyBills exports a spend money transaction, where does it put it? You can simply click on, there are multiple ways to track the doc or to land onto a document from EzzyBills. So now if you're using dashboard, you can click on this Xero link here. If you're using search approve screen, you can click on the Xero link here. It's in the corner. So once you click on link here, it will take you straight to that receipt. And this is how the spend money transaction has been exported. So you can see it's been exported. And then you also have the original PDF file attached here. So you can see this is the receipt that has been attached. It has been classified as a transaction spend money, and you can see at the top it has been put inside that bank card which we configured it. It's Westpac credit card, and you can see that here as well. Okay. For the supplier invoices, again, you can track it into Xero with two ways. So same method for like to track supplier invoices in Xero, you can just use this link, or if you're using search approved, you have the link here as well. I'm gonna click on Xero. And then because in my EzzyBills settings, I have configured export in drafts. So that's why this invoice is going to be sitting in the drafts. But this is how the invoice will be exported. So you can see the PDF, original PDF that was uploaded on the left, all the line items you can see here, everything seems correct. So I'm simply just gonna approve this invoice here. All right, so now we will come to the reconciliations part, but I'm assuming most of you will just have your bank account connected with Xero. So it's going to be more of a real-time synchronization. Like as soon as the transaction come in from your bank account into your Xero will show you the matching transaction in front, and you just click on OK. So now we will import the bank statement for Westpac credit card. Attach the file, bank feed, Westpac, import. All right, so now I have imported the statement, and this is what you will see in your reconciliations screen. So what's going to happen is you will see the transaction that are that are in your Xero, and then you will see the match that are in Xero. And when you download it, it's just quite simple of 6590. 6590 was in your bank, and this is in your Xero as well in a spend money transaction. So here you just click on OK, and that's it, done. So it's gonna, so as long as you click on that OK, it's gonna match, and then you're gonna see it's, yeah, we've reconciled. So that's how easy it's gonna be if you use the spend money feature, instead of going through all that process like putting it into drafts, approve payment, and then match. It's gonna be super easy. If your bank account is connected, it becomes even more easier to reconcile it. Coming to bills. So I have about 4 bills. I'm gonna make payments. So um, assuming these are bills over a month period, so you can either go with batch payment or you can go with single payments as well. So I'm gonna give you a demo of both. So what we will do, let's select these ones as batch payment, pay to bills. I'm going to select current account because that's the one I use to pay my suppliers. And then in reference, I'll just say these were June bills, June earnings, invoices, continue to payment summary, finish. And now once you've created a batch payment, I'm assuming you will definitely know that you can just export that batch file. This is going to be a bank format file, which you can simply import it into your bank, and you can just go ahead with the payment. So now we have done this as a batch payment. Let's go to the other ones that we have awaiting payment. I'm going to just quickly approve these invoices. Current account, say. So this process would usually be in parallel. So you have this invoice in your Xero, you have your bank account open as well. You see the amount 9173, you see the supplier, then you have made the payment there. Then you will come here, you will put the date, which account you have paid from, and then the reference which will be generated from the bank. You're gonna put that here, and you're gonna put add payment. And let's quickly go the same one, the other one. And then I can put the reference, which is generated from the bank, and add payment. So now I have made payment from all the bills, and the reconciliations is remaining. So we will go to Counting bank accounts. All right, so again, I'm assuming your bank account is usually connected to Xero, so you get it in real time. I don't have it, so I will import the statement, select the statement, and import. All right, finally. So now you can see as soon as the moment I have imported, on the left, we see the invoices which are in Xero. Like there will be a huge list of those. I have just 4 invoices. That's why it's showing 4. And in the right, you will see the statement that we have imported, or if you have the bank feed, which is automatically coming in, you will see the matching figures of the two. And then you can go ahead and see the figures, and you can see the description, which will be shown here from the bank as well. You can have that you can see more details on from the Xero details as well. And then if you're confident, if you're sure that this payment and this is one of the same thing, you just go ahead and click on OK. So now for me, all the amounts are matching. I don't need to do more research about it. I'm just gonna click OK for all of those, and then done. So your reconciliations is done. So we also went through a batch payment, and then we made that payment from the bank for that amount. That's the reason when I took out the statement, it was exactly the same amount as the batch amount in the Xero. That's why it came as a straight match, and I didn't have to do much for the reconciliation. And so it's great job. Your account is reconciled. Awesome. So that is how you do the reconciliations for supplier invoices as well as spend money transactions. That concludes today's webinar, and I'm happy to answer questions. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat box. Ross, it's quite possible that your client might have a multiple bank accounts, but at the end of the day, it's either a parent-child setup. For example, you will have a master, which is the main account, and then you will have card issued for that account. So now it depends on what you have set up in your bank accounts in Xero. Now, if you're saying, for example, electrical services account is my current account, and I might have 3 different cards which are issued to me by the bank for the same account, which essentially go on the same account, right? If it's a credit card, it has to be created separately. If it's a debit card, eventually everything's gonna go on this one. So if you're talking about multiple debit cards and you have them in here, now it depends on how you have set it up in Xero. Now, if you have set up all the credit cards. Oh, that's even makes it easy. If you have separate bank accounts, that's even makes it easier because you will have all those. I'm assuming you will have all those bank accounts in Xero, correct? Now, all these bank accounts would definitely have the 4 digits, which EzzyBills is required to process the spend money transaction. Once you have that, you can just, for example, let's assume these are different bank accounts. One is this, one is that. So employee 1 is using electrical services, employee 2 is using Westpac credit card. Then if I want to configure, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to settings, approvals, and I'm going to create 2 users. One is going to be EMP1 user. And for EMP1 user, it was going to be the first account, which is, as you can see here, it says 8012. So employee 1 is going to be 8012. Bypass approval. Bypass approval if you don't want it to go through approval. If you want it to go through approval, untick it, save changes. There will be say special email address. You can use both. You can either forward this receipts to this email address. It will be processed as a spend money transaction on this card, or you can have phone configuration with this under alias name and click pictures will be processed as a spend money transaction. And you have same setting for your employee 2 for the different account number. Employee 2, let's say your email is this. And then for the second one, the separate bank account, so that's 5407, 5407, and then you save that as well. Done. So even if you have 10 different bank accounts, you just need to create settings for 10 different people. That's all you got to do. So if one person is using multiple accounts, what he needs to do, um, I'm assuming all those multiple bank accounts would still be in the same Xero organization. And then if it's in one Xero organization, it will be connected to one EzzyBills account. Yep, awesome. If it's in one Xero organization, it is connected to one EzzyBills account. I'm also assuming that in your bank account, all those multiple cards that that person is using are configured and they have all the 4 digits number with them. Then what you need to do, let's say you have Commonwealth Bank card, Westpac card, NAB card, different cards, then what you can do, you can go to here. See, essentially what matters is the last 4 digits. You can create, you can name, it's just one person, I know, but you can name here anything that you like, Combank card or NAB card, or if you want to add his name like Matt Combank, Matt NAB, Matt Westpac, you can add something like that, whichever WC, something like whichever is easier for you to tell him so he can add it in his phone. You can have multiple settings, multiple cards here. That takes care of the configuration in EzzyBills account. When it comes to his phone app, he will need to connect. He will need to connect to this account multiple times. Like he scanned it once, he will be connected to this account once. It's gonna look like this. Don't get confused. Just have a look at this one, right? You can add multiple accounts here. So he scans it one time he's connected. Here it will be your EzzyBills account name. He you can click on connect and add the setting here, alias name, let's say Commonwealth Combank card, right? Then you click on add account again, scan the QR code again. It will be the same account connected again. You click on connect to that account, add the special setting for that account. And then essentially you will have here 5 different rows, which will show you connect and remove, which will have your EzzyBills name, and in bracket, it will have the alias, which is this alias. So essentially what's going to happen, let's say these are the alias for now. So he will have, the first part will always remains the same because he's connected to the same EzzyBills account. The part in the brackets will always change. In first bracket, it will be employee. For example, in your case, it will be Combank card. Second, it will be Westpac card. Third, it will be NAP card. Fourth, it will be some other credit card, so on and so forth. And then when he's trying to upload whichever receipt, if he's uploading Combank receipt, he needs to click connect on Combank, and then he needs to upload. He needs to switch between these accounts. Like, it's quite simple. You open the app, click on settings, connect to whichever you want, go back to this screen, and then scan now. And then that's how you upload spend money transaction for that particular account. So in EzzyBills phone app, you have the option to connect the same account multiple times, because it's the ideal case for this one. You can have one person using multiple cards, and you need multiple settings in the app as well. So you can connect to the same account multiple times and have different spend money setting on each of those connections. So when you connect it, so essentially when you are uploading, you don't have to change the alias name. You can change it once, you can set it once, leave it there. Okay, so do we have any more questions? Well, you can set up approval on this as well. So what happens, see now, if you're able to see my screen, I am in settings and I'm in approvals and expenses. So essentially you have 2 different types of settings that you can choose here. The first one is you mention the email of the approver on whichever, if you have single level or 2 levels. So first 2 levels can be configured from your settings. You either mention the email of the approver, then EzzyBills will always send the invoice to that email for approval. But in your case, if you're saying the one who's uploading the invoices does not know who's gonna approve that invoice, in that case, what you can do is you can just keep these fields empty. and don't fill anything here. If even if it's single approval, 2-level approval, depending on your, if you need single, if you just need one person to approve, you can keep it single level. If you want two people to approve, you can keep it on 2-level approval. Once the invoice has been uploaded, it's gonna be sitting in the EzzyBills in search, approve, and waiting for approval tab. It will come here and it will sit here because EzzyBills does not know who EzzyBills needs to send this invoice to for approval, because the approval section was empty. From here, then you need to tell EzzyBills who do you want this invoice to be sent to. So you can come in the waiting for approval screen. You can select the invoice here. You can click on the email approval and you can send it to a person. At the same time, if you want to give access to client and he comes and logs in into EzzyBills, he can simply log in. He can go to all my approvals. He can approve the invoices just in this window as well. So that option is there as well. So the first option is you log into EzzyBills, approve it there, right? If you have multiple people, then you can use the email. So, but you don't know who's it going for, who is this specific invoice going to, but somebody has to forward that. So you can come on waiting for approval, select the invoice or different invoices. You can select multiple. For example, if there are 10 invoices, 5 of them go to marketing department, 3 go to operations, and the rest to go to HR. So there has to be someone who's coming in, selecting those 5, and then selecting email approval, and then sending it to HR email, to, let's say, marketing email address, so on and so forth for the other departments. Once they approve, invoice is gonna come back. If it's 2-level approval, invoice is gonna come back. If it's 1-level approval, once they approve, they will go straight into Xero. If it's 2-level approval, it's gonna come back and again sit in this dashboard, and it's gonna say waiting for 2nd level of approval. Now you get those 2 options again. You can either send that invoice on email approval again to maybe your director or owner, or he can just log in and approve it from here as well. Yeah, I'll just give you my email address here. So if you can see on the screen, that's my email address. I've just highlighted that. You can just note this down and then send me your queries, so I will be able to help you with that queries. And okay, all right. If there are no many questions, I will wrap up the session. Thank you all. Thank you all for attending, for taking this time today, attending this session. This is my email address. I'm showing it on the screen. If you have any further questions or any further queries, just get in touch with me. You can send me an email. I would be more than happy to answer those questions. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a good one. Bye.